Imagine you're sitting in a conference room. Your director is across the table. HR is sitting right next to them. And then, out of nowhere, right in the middle of a sentence, you feel it. Your eyes start to burn. You're trying to hold it together, but you can't. And suddenly, you're crying right there in the middle of the meeting, in front of your director, in front of HR. That was me. I was like, come on, stop breaking down. But I couldn't. And to be honest, the worst part wasn't even that moment itself. It was everything after. For weeks, on top of losing my job, on top of the fear, on top of all the uncertainty, I kept replaying that moment in my head. How I sounded, what I should have said, over and over. Oh my God, it was so mortifying and annoying. Just talking about this makes me feel, ugh. If you've ever been laid off, you might know exactly what I mean. That moment when the shock hits and the embarrassment hits and the fear hits all at once. I wouldn't wish that feeling on anyone. That was 2008 during the mortgage crisis. Frankly, I don't think I handled it well. Not because I wasn't trying, but because I had no experience, no roadmap. Looking back, this is the part I wish I understood earlier. Like, what this process actually feels like, what to expect, and how to move through it. So a lot of it was just me figuring things out as I went. And that's a big part of why I'm sharing this now. Because at the beginning, I did what most people do. I panicked, updated my resume, and just started applying nonstop, morning to night, job after job. No real strategy, with no clear directions. There weren't many opportunities near me, so I started looking further out in other towns, even in other states, because it felt like I was doing something. And doing something felt much better than sitting with the fear. But eventually, I hit a wall. I was exhausted and defeated. I also realized I didn't really have a network. I didn't know who to reach out to or even how to start those conversations. Seriously, I really didn't want to be, that person who only shows up when they need something. So I didn't reach out. I just kept applying, sending resumes into the void, waiting for something, anything to come back to me. And this is the part that surprised me. It feels super productive, but without any direction. Like you're driving nonstop on a freeway without any destination. Look, I've been laid off 4 times. 4. But every single time, I learned something new about what actually works, what doesn't, and what I wish I had known earlier. And hey, every time, I found my way through it. So today, I want to share the 3 biggest takeaways. Let me tell you what happened after my first layoff. Every day I got up, I went straight to my computer, and my fear would not chill. It was like, what if this takes months? What can I cut? I need to find something right now. And I didn't question anything else. I just reacted. I took the first job I could get. Didn't really think about where it was leading or if it makes sense for the long term or even if I actually wanted it. Look, it makes sense if you have been applying for months, but this was less than 5 weeks. I was lucky, but I just said yes. Pretty quickly, I knew it wasn't it. I wasn't growing. I wasn't learning anything new. So it made the work boring. The worst part was the commute was ridiculous. It was at least an hour and a half each way. And on some Fridays, it took me over 2 hours to get home. Honestly, it drained me for a job that wasn't going anywhere. I remember one morning just sitting there thinking, how did I end up here? I got out of a bad situation and somehow created a brand new one. This is something I had to learn the hard way. Look, the panic is real, the money stress is real, but taking the wrong job doesn't actually fix it. It just delays it and makes you more tired when you have to start over. And the part we don't really talk about is, I call this the opportunity cost. While you're in something that's not right for you, you're also not spending that time on what is right for you. You're not building the skills you want to build. You're not moving toward the life you're trying to create. We don't have unlimited time for that. That matters every decade of your life. So if you're in that space right now, just ask yourself this. Am I moving towards something I want? Or am I just trying to escape how I feel? Because those are 2 very different decisions. And clarity should come first? What do you actually want? What kind of work feels good to you? What does growth look like? Not just for now, but for a couple of years from now, figure that out first. This part really matters because you'll be looking at opportunities in the right places to begin with. And down the road, it will help you to talk about it in your interviews, on LinkedIn, all of it. Because people aren't just hiring your experience, they're buying into your direction. They want to feel like, okay, this person knows where they're going. Have you ever been in a situation where something bad happened, like a trip cancellation, but part of you felt kind of free because you were not excited to go? My second layoff, I'm at home, sitting at my computer. Just a regular workday is during COVID actually. So everything is already quiet. The world already feels strange. And then I see the email come in. I click on it, start reading, and pretty quickly, oh no, I'm one of them. I just sit there, staring at the screen, reading the same lines over again. Is this real? And then the thoughts start coming in. Wait, seriously? Again? I got laid off again? My shoulders dropped. I leaned back into my chair, just staring at the ceiling for a second. And then this other thought comes in. Okay. I let out a breath I didn't even realize I was holding. Here's the thing. I had a good job at a great company. Nothing was wrong with it, but something about it just didn't feel right anymore. I was doing the work. It felt like I was just going through the motions. I wasn't moving towards something that I actually cared about. I knew I wanted something different. I wanted to learn new skills. I wanted to move into a different direction. I just hadn't made that move yet. And sitting there, staring at that email, it just hit me. I guess this is the moment. My chest is still tight. My mind is already racing. How long is this going to take me this time? What am I going to do next? But underneath all of that, there's a little bit of space without any words, but I feel it. This might actually be the push I needed. Maybe you know that feeling. Maybe this moment for you isn't just an ending. Maybe it's a door you've been thinking about walking through. So yeah, I walked through it. And honestly, it was a lot harder than I expected. Here's what it felt like. I had experience, real skills, real accomplishments. I had led things, delivered things. But the moment I stepped into a new industry, I felt like a complete beginner, like the new kid on the first day of school. I remember being at a networking event. The usual question came up, what do you do for a living? Simple question, right? And I just froze. I tried to explain my background. I stumbled through it, and I could literally see them losing interest. And I remember thinking, why is this so hard? Why am I having such a hard time telling people what I do? It wasn't that I didn't have any experience. I just didn't know how to translate it. I didn't have the language yet. I didn't know how to say, yeah, I'm newer to this space, but here's exactly what I bring, and here's why it matters. My resume had the same problem. Made me look junior, even though my experience absolutely transferred. I just didn't know how to frame it. Same thing in interviews. I was so focused on proving I belonged that I forgot to show what I actually can bring. I felt like a fraud. But here's what I want you to know. I got better. It took time, but I got there. Because here's the thing. This isn't about talent. It's about skills. Networking, that's a skill. Resume writing, skill. Explaining who you are and what you can bring, skill. Interview, skill. And skills can be learned, every single one of them. So if this feels hard right now, it doesn't mean anything is wrong with you. It means you haven't learned a technique yet, and that is completely fixable. These are all the skills that you can learn and get better at, one step at a time. With a little practice, it will all come together. The hardest thing I learned is that this process can feel so lonely. Imagine it's a random Tuesday morning. You're at your computer. You've applied to a bunch of jobs this week and heard back from none of them. And then you look outside and everything just looks normal. People are commuting, people are working, people are busy. And you're sitting there again, maybe the 20th time. You're thinking to yourself, everyone is doing something. Everyone except me. That feeling it doesn't really go away, even if you've been through this before. Being laid off and starting over sucks every time because your routine is all messed up. What felt safe and stable is gone. You have to show up and do it, mostly on your own. You put on a brave face. You tell people, oh, I'm just in between jobs. I've done that so many times. But inside, there's that voice. I must not be good enough at my job. I should have figured this out by now. I felt those every single time. 4 layoffs. And every time, that same feeling of being stuck and ashamed while everything else kept moving. So if that's where you are right now, I really want you to hear this. You're not behind, you're not bad at your job, and you're definitely not the only one. Unfortunately, the job market is rough. And honestly, it has been for a while. I've been through this more times than I would like. Along the way, I tried many things. Figuring things out on my own, I worked with different coaches. I even paid for expensive programs, just trying to understand how to navigate all of this better in different times. And what I want to do here is share what actually worked, the real lessons, the mistakes I made, and the things that truly made a difference for me. My goal is to make this process a little less overwhelming, a little clearer, and a lot less lonely. Because getting laid off is something so many more people go through than we ever talk about. And there's no shame in it. You will get through this and you will come out stronger on the other side. I really believe that. If something here resonated, I'd love to hear where you're at. Are you in the first few days, a few months in, or still figuring out what's next? Drop it in the comments. I want to make this as helpful as possible for you. And if you're wondering, okay, but what do I actually do right now? Like, what are the first things I should take care of? That's exactly what the next video is about. I'll walk you through 5 things that actually matter in the first week after a layoff. Things that are easy to overlook when everything feels urgent and overwhelming. I'll see you there. Take care of yourself.